What's going on? Welcome to episode 4, maybe episode 3 of Games to Discover. Mel, how are you?
It's pretty good today. Hmm?
Yeah, it's good. We are here. We're doing a new episode, another episode. We are also on all the podcast services. So if you're on Spotify or Apple Music, feel free to give us a review. Say, hey, those two, love them. Fantastic. Great. Mel, a little more than Chris, but still, they're both cool. And then, um, and then more people can hear us ramble on about video games. But this week we're gonna do exactly that. But before we do, Mel, did you eat anything good this
Yeah.
week?
Let's see. Actually, I have usually I don't have options to talk about.
Okay.
Like this week, I have I don't know. I ate like four really good things. I would say.
Oh,
I'm gonna go with chicken Alfredo. Had last night.
oh, the chicken
Homemade.
Alfredo, homemade.
Yeah, homemade. Yeah, really good. Nice and creamy. It wasn't too overbearing. We had the broccoli spews, so a little bigger broccoli pieces. Nice
Okay.
chunks of chicken, nicely seasoned. Very filling. I almost went into a food coma like as soon as I was done. So had a little piece of garlic bread on the side too, nicely toasted. Just really good.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Um, chicken Alfredo. I remember like growing up, it would be like anything just anything creamy like that. I would be like, I don't know about this, but then I've had chicken Alfredo since being a child, and it actually is really good. Or it
I'm
can be good,
actually,
I should
I'm
say.
actually, I'm actually the opposite. I used to really like the creamy sauce when I was a kid, and now as I gotten older, I'm like, I don't know. I'm a little more pickier. Last night on point. Can't complain too much about that.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah. I did not eat much of any note this week, so I'm gonna say a bowl of frosted flakes because what happened was I had a bowl of frosted flakes. They were really good. I also had some, homemade I kind of just got the chicken and put the chicken in the pan and enjoyed that. Just cut up some chicken, put it in a pan, just move it around, cook it, maybe a little salt and pepper, and ate it. It was very plain, but sometimes I'm just in the mood for plain food.
Uh, I'll take your word for that. I'm never in the mood for plain food,
Oh,
even when
really?
I'm sick. Yeah, I don't really like plain food. I like to have some type of seasoning on it. But at least you put pepper and salt on it. I knew of a lady who considered that as the spicy stuff, just pepper and salt. So whenever she would have luncheons or dinner parties over at her place, you couldn't eat anything she cooked. You had to go for the finger sandwiches made by the supermarket, the little food tray, all that stuff. Really nice lady, but man, no seasoning in that house whatsoever. I
Well,
couldn't do it. That's
some
life.
sometimes you just need to um um help people out. Sometimes you just gotta say, hey, you want to try some of this? And but then some people, especially when they're older, they're I mean, it's hard enough to get people to change when they're younger, but then when they've been doing something a certain way their whole lives, it's hard, difficult to change. So I could see
I
why
know.
she would be like, you know what, it's good enough the way that it is. Uh, um, the um, but I don't know what it is. Something about um, like something plain like that for me, it is kind of like if I'm thinking, you know what, I want to eat something. It's gonna be plain. By golly, it might as well be something good. Um, or something,
I no.
something if it's plain like that, or even sometimes like what about like although when if I were to eat like just Planters peanuts, I like to have the salted ones. I don't like the plain
Yeah, what
ones.
is this one? It makes you like it's weird to me because like the salted ones should make your mouth like more watery, but like the
Yeah.
plain ones kind of do to me. I can't I can't explain it, but like it's
Yeah.
just not good.
I think it's like the oil that they use, like that's all I taste afterwards if I just eat them. Um
Oh, that makes sense. You know, unless you crack and it's like the ones you crack, I can kind of maybe
yeah.
get away with the ones with those, but I don't know. I'd
Unrel-
rather have something.
Unrelated to that, how do you feel about circus peanuts, the candy?
Okay. I actually really like those.
Do you?
Yeah, because my grandma used to give them to me as a kid, and like that was like the treat, you know. If I was like good in the store or something, she's like, "Hey, I'll open up the circus peanuts when we get back home." And man, I don't know what it was, but my little self was just so happy to get like the two little circus peanuts because you know they were pretty big for like a little kid. So she would like rip them in half, and I have like four pieces. So I was like, "Wow, I got four circus peanuts," you know, because
Right.
kids are stupid.
Kids
They
are
make you like really thirsty though, but I can still eat them. I still like them. I shouldn't, but you know,
yeah.
I'll still eat them.
They it's weird when I have them, I like them, but also it gives me like this sensory thing with like the way it's weird I can feel them like the way that they break apart. I can also kind of hear them even though they're not making a sound. I could still hear them breaking apart and it gives me like a sensory overload almost. But I
Okay, for this,
persevere and eat them.
yeah, for this one, I can understand the texture thing because like when you actually do rip them apart, they don't feel like food. It's like this weird like taffy styrofoam kind of like mixture. And like you look at it and it's like this doesn't look like food, doesn't feel like food.
Yeah.
And I guess it barely tastes like food to me, but I guess that's my plain stuff was like that and just white rice. Like sometimes I just want white rice. Just, you know, nothing too fancy with it.
Right,
So
yeah.
I guess
Nothing
it's plain.
nothing too wild. Um
I'd be going crazy.
but yeah. Um there were there's like a bunch of random things that I would eat that I would like. I can't believe I'm eating this, but I can't think of any of them right now. So we're just gonna carry on, persevere, keep moving. Um, but yeah, the in terms of we ended up playing. Well, I should say I played a lot of games. You played a
So
couple of games, but then you played one game quite quite a bit. I played it quite a bit
yeah.
too, but I think I'm in Mario and Luigi Brothership. I think I'm about 20 or no, sorry. Um like 16 hours or something like that. Do
Okay. I got like 21, 22, I think. So I'm a
okay.
little ahead of you.
Yeah.
Maybe. It kind of depends
You're a
cuz
lot further ahead probably cuz I'm like grinding a lot and doing all the side quests.
I'm doing side quests, but I'm not doing all the challenges cuz like some of those challenges it's like kill like 300 guys without like any gear or anything. And I was like, I wish I saw this like at the very start
Yeah.
because as further you go along into it, it just becomes more of a hassle. That's like one of the ones you should do like right away, and you do
Right.
get like a pretty good item. It's just like I think I gave up on it, but there's also other little challenges you've been doing, and I've been hitting most of those. Like I just got the 250 lucky lucky hits, you know.
Oh
So
yeah. Yeah. But yeah,
you
that
know,
game is a lot of fun, but but before we get to that, we did
yeah,
play a game. Mel was like, you I think you were the one that brought it to my attention. I saw
yeah.
someone else talk about it, but then you were like, "Oh, I want to play this," and it was Lucas Pope's new game. Lucas Pope is awesome. Lucas Pope, for anyone that doesn't know, did Papers, Please. He did um, what is it? Um,
Return of the Oberdin.
yeah, yep, Return of the Oberdin, and he also did. There is he did a game over on the what's the one with the crank,
Yeah.
the Playdate.
The play date. Play date. Yeah.
Yes, so he did a game on the Playdate, which was kind of like you were the host, or like you're the bouncer at a um intergalactic bar, and like
Just
you
love to know.
slide, you use the crank to slide open the peephole or whatever to like see who's out there, and then decide whether or not they get to come in. So it was kind of like, you know, Papers, Please, but you know, Galaxy,
Not
Please,
as
almost.
interesting.
But yeah, then he did Moida Mansion, I believe, right? And this is a game that you can play on a browser of all things. Um,
Yeah. You have to go over to the itch website for this one, I think,
yeah,
because that's when I played it.
yep. Itch.io, for anyone that doesn't know, it's kind of like an LCD game. And it looks exactly like it. Like it's just looks just like one if you were to play it, and it's a lot of fun. Um, I ended up playing it quite a bit. Oh, Mars After Midnight is the name of the game
But the
that I
PC game.
was.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, the in terms of Moida Mansion by Lucas Pope, it is a game that you can play. Like he even like gives directions on the page, where it is very simple. It is just I think it's four buttons. It's like left, right, inspect, and then like go
You go up and down the
up and
stairs.
down the stairs. Yeah. And the way they have like the sound effects, it just reminds me very much of a um it
Like those
reminds
type
me
of
very much of
handheld
those
games.
LCD games. Yeah, exactly. I loved it. I really enjoyed my time with it. It's a lot of fun. It's a game that um like there's a lot more to it than you would think. And you know, just being like a free to play, like through the browser LCD game. What did you think of it?
I really liked how the sound effects were exactly like those little
Yeah.
handheld
Mm-hmm.
games. It's like not only does the look of it has to match, but sound effects does as well. And like you go through like several rooms of this mansion. I think it's like roughly like 10 or so different rooms. And like there's different things to inspect. And if you inspect just randomly too much, you have like this alien monster come at you, and like they would chase you, and you have to like run throughout the whole mansion, not to get captured by it. And your objective is to find like your friends in the mansion, and you have to really look and listen to each of the different rooms because sometimes like one of them will be like in some type of cabinet, and if you're not paying attention, you can just pass by it. But like if you hear like the little knocking sound, he's like, "Oh, I gotta go here." But then sometimes it's like, "Oh, I need like this code or this key." So you have to really explore this mansion, and it does like a little tally at the end of you know, when you escaped. It's like, "Hey, you got like found out like 8 times or whatever," and I went through it like once, and then I did like a half a playthrough of another one
Yeah.
because apparently there's like a little secret thing if you can find like all the friends, and then there's like another thing, but like it's not like well known. Like it doesn't tell you like why you first playing it. So I don't know. I thought it was a little neat little project, and like the screen itself, it's like actually in the shape of like one of those handheld things, so it makes you really feel like you're playing one. And I really liked it. I'm a big Lucas Pope fan. I know you are too. So
Yeah. and we just want to kind of like talk about it because it's something people might not have known about. I don't know. I know on our YouTube we can post links. I think we might be able to post a link in the description. I will tag the page where you can go and play it. So if you want to play it, like you can play it right. Ooh, almost knocked my drink over. You can play it right from your phone, and we're just gonna gloss over that. But yeah, you can play right from your phone, like through the browser that way as well.
Yeah,
Uh,
it doesn't take too long either. And
yeah,
everybody can play it. It's pretty much gonna run on anything. So I really liked it. Uh, but I like most of his things anyways. So I
yeah,
wasn't too surprised how far.
I like him as well, and I can't wait to see the next thing he creates. Um, People are like, oh, sometimes like growing up, I would there would just be all it needed to have is one game that I wanted to play, and I would go out of my way to get a system. Like I trade in games at Funkoland to get the system. I did that with like the Atari Jaguar just because I wanted to play Alien versus Predator. Because someone at school
That is one
played
too.
it. I never played it. I wanted to play it and I got it and I was like, not worth it, but I but by golly, it was fun. Um, but yeah, this is his Mars After Midnight is a game that I would want to play
On the PlayStation.
on the play date. Yeah, exactly. That would be a
Because
game that got me to get it a play date.
cause I wrestle with myself like on a near weekly basis on getting that thing. Because I think it's such a cool little device, but I know it's like a really high sunken value of like novelty. Like once the novelty goes off, it's like, hey, am I actually gonna use this thing? Am I actually gonna play it? But like, I do really want to play that game of his, but like, it's kind of like, yeah, I need maybe a couple more little things, because
Yeah.
I'm not the one games post system. I need like 5, 10, before I'm
Mm.
hunkering down,
You need at least 100
all this. Yeah.
because there's plenty of games. There's at least 5 or 10 games on all the other systems that you want to play. But as long as they keep the games you want to keep playing, keep coming on the Switch, you're satisfied with that. And you're like,
Well,
where
well,
my
that's because it's the handheld. I
yeah,
like the handheld stuff.
where my curi. Well, you know what? Xbox, a couple years from now, they're gonna win you over with that
Yeah.
handheld.
Okay. If
Uh,
they still a thing, okay, yeah.
and so and Valve, as soon as they release like Steam Deck Lite, that I feel like they're gonna
Yeah,
win you
that's
over with that.
that's what it is. I need like a smaller version of that. I think it's just too bulky. But I'm not able to try it now because
Yeah, that's true.
those
It
systems are like you gotta buy it from their site, so that's a little different.
Yeah, and you can't like go anywhere to try it, like unless you get someone that you know that has it.
It's like that, or like if there's like a GameStop with like a used one. But like personally, I don't want to touch a used one because I know what some of y'all do.
Yeah,
Y'all bringing me to the bathroom and stuff. I don't need that. I don't need it. Nope, no, thank you.
pardon? You don't
Yeah,
want
no, I don't.
the poop riddled Steam Deck?
No, no,
Mm.
no. Even for like the other used systems, like I got them as a kid. Like I got like the Dreamcast, like at a yard sale. Like
Yeah.
I still like toss that controller. Like after like the first like month, because I didn't like the idea. I was like, I don't know where this person's been. I mean, it
Oh
looked
yeah.
pretty good. I was like, I don't know. I
Yeah.
gotta go get my own, and I eventually did because I love that little thing too. But yeah, it's just one of those things where I think if they actually do make a smaller one, they're gonna get me. It's just waiting on them to do that, I guess. I did see the white one, like the white
Yeah.
or
The white Steam
edition.
Deck.
That
Yeah.
look, yeah, that looks really nice.
It's of course a
But
limited edition. We'll
I
see.
know.
We'll see what happens. But yeah, it's getting to the point like it's like I almost feel spoiled now playing because I was so I'm playing. I got Steam or GeForce Now Ultimate now. Like they hooked me up with like a creator ultimate version. So I just have ultimate being a content creator. And so like when I play games now, I like I'll play Fortnite on there, right? When I play Fortnite,
Yeah.
and for some reason it wasn't. It like froze and then wouldn't let me get back in, right? Because what happens is when you're in one, it something happens where the game like froze, and then it when you try to go into another one, it like it's like let us wrap up the old one, but like the computer that it was on was like restarting, so that it was taking too long. So I um, jumped over to Xbox Cloud and I played it through that. And I was like, man, this GeForce Now looks so much better. And like, it's weird that like even like playing on the Steam Deck, some like for the games that are like Hades or Hades 2 even, um
Mhm.
the games that are like pixelated graphics or even just like top down games like those look really good, but then when you play some of the like God of War on there compared to like playing God of War on like PS5 or high end stuff, it just looks so much better. And uh I feel like I'm getting spoiled now at this point. um but yeah, I cannot wait to one day get GeForce, or not GeForce, a play date and play that Lucas Pope game. But until that happens,
Yeah, I think I'm waiting for like a good sale. But like it went in the opposite direction. I think last year they actually increased the price of the system. So it's kind of like but we'll see. Plus I have a personal distaste of the color yellow, and that's like the only thing that Playdate is in.
oh,
It's just
that's right. I forgot
pure
you hate
yellow.
the color yellow.
I
That's
hate
right.
yellow. I hate it.
That's true. Well, that's because, uh, I think it was what you. If you don't want to talk about it, it's fine. But I think there was like a bunch of bananas that landed on you when you were a child, and ever since then you've been traumatized by yellow. I can't. I can't.
Like like totally off the mark here, but because like when I was growing up, like my parents were like repainting the house, and they got into like this argument feud with like
A few.
like the
Yeah.
like the HOH or whatever,
Oh
you
yeah.
have like a certain type of one. I forgot exactly what they're called, but so they got in a feud with that, and they're like, hey, what color do you want the house? And I was like, so we were like at Home Depot, and we were looking at all the paint stuff, and I just saw one that said banana, and I was like, yeah, let's just do banana. So it's like this big bright yellow, and like I picked it when I was like 6, so that's not like really fair. So we had like this big banana house for like 10 years. I hated it. Like when I got to like 8, I was like, this is not it. You could see our house like a mile away. It was just great banana. So that's probably why I don't like yellow, because it's my own fault. But you know,
You've created this monster. Yes.
I did. I did.
But yeah, we that's fine. You're like, it was my own doing. Um,
Was
but yeah, every week we when we're like what games we're gonna play, we will message each other. We both played Mario and Luigi, but then I played a couple of games that were
yeah.
not Mario and Luigi. Um, I want to start. I was. I'm just gonna start with Beastieball because Beastieball is a game where Um, I think they might have had a demo at Next. I don't think it was Nexus. I think it was just a demo that they released, and you got to play the opening section there. And then I signed up for the play test, but I didn't really get to play much of it outside of like the opening still. And then so
Mhm.
then when I played the full game, it was the same exact thing as like the demo almost like you start with your character, like it even had my save from the demo or whatever.
Really nice.
Yeah, but I was like, you know what, I'll just start fresh. And it has max support, shout out to it. So I went ahead and played it. This is the new game by Wishes L Limited, I believe, Wishes Limited, and they did Wander Song, shout out to them, and
Love it.
Chicory. They also did
Yep.
Chicory as well. That was one of those games that like launched on PlayStation with the PlayStation Plus, I believe, and
Yeah. It
then
was.
eventually came to everything. But Beastieball, that I've been following the developers over on Blue Sky. They were talking about the. It's weird saying a Blue Sky instead of being like, oh, Twitter, but they
We get used to it.
but they were like, this is the most they said that this game is the one they're the most proud of, and it turns out it is. For anyone that doesn't know, it looks like it's all like sort of like uh almost like drawn with like um colored pencils almost. um
A lot of the games have that very colorful style. Even with Trickery, where you kind of lost the color and you put the color back in, they always have that nice pop of color, and I appreciate them for that.
yeah, yeah, and it kind of looks like that. It also kind of reminds me of like um Knights and Bikes sort of, but it has like this like kind of
Oh,
like filter over top of it, like where everything's already hand drawn looking. It just looks really good. And then the more I ended up playing it, I was like, I'm really liking this. One thing I didn't know, like I knew it was just like a volleyball game, right?
yeah, that's what I mostly known it as well. Just volleyball.
Right. It's kind of like Pikmin, or not Pikmin. What is it? Pokemon meets, yeah, Pokemon meets the like it's like Pokemon, but um the
If it was sports stars, I
volleyball.
guess.
Yeah, because it even starts where they have three different um beasties, and
Yeah.
I think that's what they even call them, beasties. So like not only that your relationship grows with them, but then it's, oh, you I think you can have like multiple beasties on your team because you end up becoming, you're the coach. And so they don't ever go into like pokeballs or anything. They just run
Mhm.
behind you, and they end up being, I think you might be able to get three or four of them, um, like following you at once. And
Okay, so you have like a squad just constantly following you.
yeah, yeah, exactly,
Do they
yeah.
get caught in anything when you're walking around the overworld, or is it always like a smooth transition when you go to screen type of thing?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, they're following you, like following behind you the whole time.
Okay, that's really nice.
And
Because
then
a lot of people in the monster creature community, I guess, really like having that feature because it doesn't really add anything, but it's a nice little visual effect. It
right,
makes it more like your buddy, I guess.
yeah. And then the more that you have two players together, the more their relationship builds so they can do like combos and like boost each other more than the other one, right?
Yeah.
So they have that. Like it even starts off with three beasties, and it's like, oh, pick one, and then you end up picking one. You fight. It starts off with you fighting a. Um, he's like the retired coach who he was the head of the like the Beastie League. Not the head of it, but he
Mm.
won the Beastie League, the original one.
Oh, he's the Beastieball champion, master, whatever.
Yeah, the master. And he looks
Okay.
kind of like an out of shape um Ash Ketchum. He's got the hat, like the same color outfit on. He's just
That's really
his
funny.
stomach sticking out at the bottom of the shirt and everything. Um but yeah, this one thing I will say, this game is early access, which is
Oh,
it says it's early access, but what it has is the full game. So it's like the full game is in here. You can beat it in about 15 hours. You d- first thing you do is beat him, and then you have two beasties, and then You can have four of them, and then two of them are like in the background,
Yeah.
behind the volleyball field, and then
So it's like a bench
yeah,
situation.
it's
They're,
kind of
they're,
like
they're like on the bench.
right where they might get hit by an attack and end up getting pushed out, and then you have to switch them out with someone else. Um,
This is kind of fun.
yeah,
So like, does each like beastie have like its own like move? I guess like special trait. Like, is there like one that's just like electric and like you use like the electric guy on top of the water guy, and it comes like to a new move type of situation? Is it stuff like that, or
y-
is it just like
yeah. So you have like an ability to do like you volley like toss it back over to your teammate, and when you toss it to your teammate, they can get the ball, and then they do a special move, and they all have their own special moves, right?
Mhm.
And then on top of the special moves that you have, there's also um, like I think there's the special moves. Each one of them has them, but then as you level up, because when you beat someone, you level up. Um,
yeah.
you will um, learn new moves and abilities, and then you can like pick which ones you want to use and do stuff like that. And then instead of pokeballs you get jerseys, and the jerseys are used to give to a wild beastie that you find out running out in the wild. um
So you're just putting clothes on them, basically?
yeah, so you just put clothes on them and then they join your team. um and you can't catch them, I think, until you after you beat them. Um, like you need to hit the ball to them more so that you learn more about them and their abilities, and then what happens is when you get hit them and hit the ball at them enough, then it'll be like, oh, your Beastiepedia, uh, I don't think it. I think that might actually be the name. It like updated, so like, oh, you know enough about this beastie to bring it onto your team, and then they join your team, and yeah, it's just like Pokemon where you level up. But when you run into a random one just out in the middle of the field, or they'll just be
Okay.
running out and about, you, it just starts a uh, they'll like see you get an exclamation point over their head, run at you, and then if they hit you, it starts a battle, and then um, it'll just put a random net up in the middle of nowhere, and you just go ahead and take them on, and you first one to get 2 points or completely takes out an enemy, or like not an enemy, but another team, the other team. If you completely take them out, then that's it. Yeah. Beastie Ball. It is a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it. Um, it is $24.99, but it's on sale until November 19th for $22.50. So, um,
That
like I said,
sounds really cool.
yeah, like I said, it's
'Cause,
it. Sorry, go ahead.
oh, I was just saying, like, I knew like very little about it, but like the more you talk about it, the more I actually want to try it out. Because I played their other games, and this actually sounds like it has the most like gameplay and like strategy to it. 'Cause it seems like you have to like really pair up your guys in a nice little formation and stuff if you want to like get more guys, you know. And I like collecting little monsters. It's always one of my favorite things to do in a game.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And I know you are not a huge fan of early access games.
No,
You'd rather just wait until the game's fully out. But this game is the full game. What they're doing with in terms of what they plan on adding with their roadmap is like new animations. It almost seems like they're just polishing the game for the next year to get it ready for like
other places probably, they're probably gonna
consoles. Yeah.
launch it. Yeah. because I think this is only Steam right now.
Yep. And right now it is developed by Wishes and developed or published by Clay Publishing. And Clay did like uh Rotwood, Don't Starve Together, Oxygen Not Included. And so
Oh, actually,
they're published. Published this one. But yeah, um, I'm really enjoying my time with it. I'm planning on playing it more, um, especially because it's got a Mac version. That's nice. Um,
yeah, that guy. So
yeah, and yeah, and then you had you sent me last night that um you played Tumblestone, which
yeah, I wanted to put that in there before I forgot because I wasn't planning on it, but it was on sale for like $2, and it's a neat little puzzle game. I didn't think I was gonna like it as much, but the hour just kind of flew by once I started it up and started playing. Because like you just have to match like three in a row, because that's most of these puzzle things. But like there's like all these little different modes for it. There's like a tug of war, like a battle, and then just like the normal story mode, and you can go against people or computers. I tried a little bit of like all the modes. It's pretty fun like that. And like the blocks just keep coming down as you're trying to match them up, because your goal is to match all the blocks on your board and clear it off before like anyone else. So you want to do like a speed accuracy thing. So there's like a certain method of which you have to do, like in which order you have to hit off these blocks, because you can have like 6 blue blocks, but if you don't do it in the right order, you can't get to like the yellow blocks or the green blocks or the purple blocks and yada yada. So it's a little trial and error, and like if you're going against someone else or like the computers, and it really amps up the intensity, I guess.
oh yeah,
Because I was sweating it at the end of these sessions, man. Because like at the end of at the end of like the total round, because you can set it up to like a certain number of wins or whatever like that. So I put it to like 5 usually. So like at the end of like 5 wins, whoever gets to 5 wins first, you have like this little card thing at the end where you can see your experience points, and like, oh, you came in first, you get like these points. Or you went the fastest, or you won like 3 in a row. So like you have all these little achievement things you can get while you're playing like this little puzzle game. Because it's a very simple game, but it's just so much fun. And I'm looking forward to going back to it, honestly, and doing some more of the other modes. I personally like the battle mode the best because like it's kind of like like Tetris 99, where like you're constantly like having more stuff come at you, and you're trying to knock out the other players. So that was my favorite mode personally out of it. Have you played this before?
I think I did when it first came out. I played it, um, and yeah, it was one of those games that was like I want to say it was. I think you told me that you got it because it was on sale, right?
Yeah, it was $2. Because I heard people talk about it before, but like I don't know. I do like puzzle games. It's just it takes me a while to get into one of them, but when I get into one of them, it's like that's my puzzle game for like 6 months. So I can easily see myself just playing this constantly now because it has that rush for me of just wanting to do things as fast as possible. Because at most of the end of the rounds when I played, I got like the fastest fingers or whatever, fastest solutions little point value thing. And I love that because I like doing time trials of that nature,
Yeah,
because I can easily accomplish this one. It's nothing like I need to be like perfection, technical, doing like all these combos. I can just line up things correctly, just see a path, and connect stuff. I like stuff like that because I can do it, especially now that I'm getting a little older. maybe some of my reaction time isn't as good as it was in back in the day, you know?
Yeah, right. Yeah. Plus, this kind of reminds me of like Snood, where did you ever play that?
Yeah. I haven't thought about that in years.
Where it's kind of like well, Snood was like circles instead of squares, and then you just kind of rotate back and forth as opposed to move back and forth on the bottom of the screen, but you kind of like load up the colors and match them up to get them to like try and you could like get a top one to fall off and then drop like the two different colors that it has under it, like down to try and get them. It kind of reminds me of that. But yeah, I think the reason I never really got into this was because it was like local multiplayer only, and so you couldn't really play it online. At least on
Yeah,
the
that's
Switch.
kind of
I
the
don't know
downfall.
about.
But like, you know, maybe these other systems might have a little bit more of a functionality. But with the holidays coming up, I'm gonna have family coming over, and like they can easily play this because they're not like me. Not, they don't really play stuff. But like everybody can like match up like the little blocks and like move the stick. So I'm gonna have fun with them with this. I'm glad I got it on a whim type of situation, you know?
Right, yeah, because it is normally 14.99. I believe it is 14.99 again now. Um,
Yeah,
it
and then I just missed it.
Yeah, it was on sale, but you got it in time where it was
Yeah, I
one
got it
ninety
because
nine.
yeah, it was $2. I think it changes noon on Thursdays for the Switch. So you had to get all those Switches sales before then usually. But it goes on sale pretty often, I think, because I seen it before. So hopefully by then, y'all can pick it up if you want. Even if it's not on that system, you can get another thing, type of situation.
Right, yeah, but yeah, Tumblestone. For anyone curious, if you do have the Switch, you can get it on. You can just download the demo.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that I did demo.
Yeah, there is a demo, so you can download that and see if you like it. Especially because there's no other snood like or snood adjacent um games out there.
Yeah, I don't think the snood community is really looking out there too much, but it's nice to have, things every now and then.
Right, yeah. um Then we also had a game I played, um,
What you got? What you got?
The Rise of the Golden Idol.
Okay, I
Um,
actually did see a little bit of you play this, so
yes, it is. It's kind of like you're solving crimes by looking at a scene that like. So it's like um, I guess a still image, right? But
mm,
you might be able to like if like the you'll see someone's murdered or dead or
yeah.
someone had an accident and died or something bizarre happened um um or I think there was like one where it was like the murder had already happened, um or the death had already happened, accident and death already happened, and that was there. And then um you see people like interviewing people for about the murder, and
Mm,
when they're doing the interviews, like you can click on like the detective, and he might say something that gives you a hint, and then it'll give you a couple of words, and then you might be able to click on the teleprompter and then see what it is that's being said, and then it gives you more words, and then um they're in different colors too, like the words, like the verbs, the nouns, they're all in different um colors colors so that you know which ones go where. And then it's all color coordinated. It'll be like one of those forms where it's just tells you everything that happened, but there's a bunch of blanks, and then you need to fill them in, but you might not have the word you need because you didn't search the scene well enough. So you kind of just need to search the scene, figure out what happened. Um, like the first one that you do, it's like a tutorial showing you what to do. So
Mhm.
um, there is somebody with like a checklist of like all the different inmates, and they tell you all their names, and so then you just kind of got to figure out which room that it is happening in, so that then you can figure out who it is. And then at the bottom, it's like you can first fill out the names, the pictures, match the pictures to the names of the people, so you kind of like get that sorted out, and then you do who, what, where, why, and then how it happened. And then once you get it all correct, it will kind of pop up letting you know you got it all right, and then it'll be like, yep, this is how it happened. And so then, like, as you're going through and solving these crimes, it also seems like there is like an overarching story of stuff happening as well that kind of makes you try and figure out what's happening. Like, are all these like murders connected, or is something more happening? And you got to like solve that while also solving each case individually. And yeah,
Oh,
it's
and I love stuff like that because I mentioned that I watched you a little bit, but like I was getting too into it, and I didn't want to like too many of the little solutions or anything being solved. So
yeah, that's the problem with streaming a game like that, is that exact reason. Because once you beat it, like once you complete a mission, like there's no need to go back and do it again. You know, it's not like you're
yeah,
gonna get bonus points. But yeah, um, it definitely is filled with like aha moments where you're like, oh, aha. I had one of those where I was like so stumped on what was happening. I couldn't figure it out, and it was because I was like hyper focused on what was happening on one part of the screen, and then all I had to do was look into a different section, and I instantly was like, "Oh, that's what happened." Because I was like, "Why is this not working?" And then, yeah, and then you solved it. But then somebody else might be playing it and not have that at all, you know?
yeah. So everybody has a different experience while playing it, which is a nice thing to do. Because I would miss things. It's either if I don't look up high enough or I don't look down enough, I would miss something. It's always one of the two for me. Let the entire playthrough when I play something like that. So just trying to match and see, you know, all the little clues and such. Because I played Paradise Killer, and it was kind of similar in that aspect, where you would have a place to explore, and you can advance through the store without having all the facts or whatever, and try to see, who done it or whatnot.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, this is the rise of the Golden Idol. There is also the Case of the Golden Idol, and then the Case of the Golden Idol had, I think, two DLCs. But yeah, it's really good. Um, it's a game I'm enjoying playing. I want to keep playing and trying to get them. I was like stumped for a minute and then couldn't figure it out, but um, ended up solving the one murder, and like just like the feeling of like, oh yes, figuring it out like feels really good. Um, so that's on pretty much everything, I think, including Netflix. Um,
Wow, no.
yeah, it was one of those games where they were like, um, they sent me a Steam code for this game, right? And then they even in the email where they were talking about it, the the game, and they were like, "Here you go, enjoy this game." Blah blah blah. All the other preamble, they were like, "We suggest, um, even if you're going to play it on Steam, just check it out on the iPad through Netflix because it is a really cool experience playing it that way."
It sounds really cool. I didn't know it was a Netflix thing. I might have to check it out that way because I like the novelty of Netflix stuff. I don't like Netflix itself, but like Like my parents have it, so I'm just gonna, try it with those
Yeah.
and see how it goes.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. I've enjoyed my time with it so far, and I can't plan on playing it more. Um, and then w- sorry, we're closed. Um, this is one where I sent you a list, like an image just showing my previously played Steam games, right? And I was like,
Yeah.
here's the games I played, and you're like, what is that game on the end? Uh,
Yeah, because it's a very eye-catching
like
cover art, I
key art,
guess.
yeah,
Yeah, cute.
yeah, because it's sorry we're closed, but then it's like a woman with horns, and she's got a collar on, and her like a demonic looking tongue, and I think the collar has like a tag on it that says baby, but yeah,
Yeah. She's like a blue skin blonde with teeth earrings. She has big tooth earrings, I kind of sound. But, is that the vibe that actually matches the game, or like this is just like a eye-catching cover art thing that
yeah.
gets it going?
No, yeah, this is the vibe that matches the game and like the character designs. Um, it is definitely a more of like the like I think they even say it in the description. It says, Sorry We're Closed is the nostalgic single player survival horror game with rich lore, deep characters, and multiple endings. Explore unsettling locations with fixed camera angles, fight in first person with demonic weapons, open your third eye to see between worlds, uncover secrets, and solve puzzles. So, um, so that's that. The game starts off where you are basically just yourself living your life. You um, are working at a where do you work? You work at like a convenience store, right? And while you're working there, what's happening is it's about to close. You know, it finishes, it closes. You head out for the night. There's a lot of talking in this game, I will say. There's like a lot of story being told, at least especially in the beginning. So they have like the beginning and opening section of what's happening. Um, and you close up and I say you close up, but really it closes up and it just cuts from you being closing up to boom, you outside, right? And
Yeah.
then what happens is there is kind of like um, a um, you're like, well, I better head to bed. So if you want, you can go around the corner to your apartment and just go right to bed, or you can like talk to the people because there's like people outside. It's nightlife
Mhm.
happening. You can talk to them if you want, and but then when you go to bed, this is all like looks like a PS1 kind of fixed
Really
camera
nice little
angles.
vibe.
Yeah, they even have a an option for um they even have an option for tank controls if you want. Otherwise, you just up is up, down is down. Otherwise, you got to spin
Yeah.
around to do it. But yeah, and then it's third person. But then when you go into first person, it is uh, all that's where you do your damn like fighting. Um, and what happens is you go to sleep. And when you finally do go to sleep, you're visited in your sleep by a demon who um, is like looking for love and wants you to like join them. And you're like, I don't know. No thanks. At least that's what I said. And I just went to bed.
Oh, okay. So you just went to sleep. You're like, I had enough for today. This is my life. I'm
Yeah,
going to sleep.
right. Exactly. You're like, no thanks. I don't want to do this. Um, and and so you're like, no, I'm gonna go back to sleep. You wake up. What you don't realize is under your hair, like your bangs in the front, like curly bangs,
Mhm.
um,
Yeah.
is an eye. You have like another eye over on top of your head or on your forehead now, and this is like your third eye that you can see between the worlds of the living and the demonic, right?
Oh,
And
that's cool.
yeah, plus the colors are kind of like neon, kind of like a neon close sign. Um, but yeah, so you're using that for, and then you just kind of go back to work like nothing ever happened, or yeah, like nothing ever happened. It cuts to you at work, and then the next night, like, then you're like, that was weird. I don't know if that actually happened or not. But then, like, more and more stuff happens, and you eventually will find a woman. You there's like a gate that is ripped open by creatures, right?
Hmm.
And you're like, that's odd. What? How did this happen? And so it's ripped open by demons. You go through it, and then you realize that with that eye that you can see between worlds, you might see there's like a bunch of like overgrown ivy there now, but then if you switch, then it's not there and you can just go through. It's like that sort of thing that you're doing with it. And then you'll find TV or phones on the wall, and you just go up to them, and then you can not only get phone calls for like hints, but then also um, get look at the phone calls to um, what is it like save, so you're saving that way as well. um
That's an interesting
yeah,
thing.
and so it starts off with you having an axe, and then you eventually get a gun, uh only about 5 minutes after you get the knife or the axe. And so when you get a gun, you if one of the demons, the creatures that's coming at you, is coming at you, you can use your third eye to bring up like in between worlds, and it
Mhm.
shows like a heart on them. And then you can just do what you do best and just aim right for the heart with the gun, shoot it, and when you shoot it, it will turn into it'll be like an instant kill. And so like you kill them instantly. And yeah, it is sorry we're closed. So far I'm enjoying it enough to keep playing it, but I don't know um if I will end up beating it, but so far it's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it.
Sounds pretty interesting, you know?
Yeah.
That's not what I thought it was going to be at all, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, it's not what I thought it was going to be at all. Like, well, one thing I didn't expect was there to be as much talking as there is. Like, there's a bunch of like different characters that you're meeting. Some of like the character design and the art and stuff also almost kind of reminds me of white. What's the neon white sort of?
Oh, yeah, it
Just
kind of
like
does look like me.
the different kind of characters that you have, but the pace of the game is a little bit slower. It's more like a Resident Evil type game, but
Yeah.
it's kind of like Resident Evil if it was like in the world of Neon White kind of almost.
Oh,
Because
that's a good way to go about it.
there is like blood and stuff, but then there's also um it's like the characters look kind of, I don't know. Yeah. That's, I guess, the best way I could describe it. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. It I was playing it just on my Mac. It doesn't have Mac support, but I got Whiskey on my Mac, so I can play PC games, and so I've been doing that
Oh,
and
okay.
played it with no problem, no issues. And yeah, so that is out now. It is $24.99 on sale now for $22.50. Did I already say that?
I don't think you did.
Okay, that might have been. Oh, okay. I think that was Beastieball. So many. Yeah,
Yeah,
24.99 is the new
I know. That's
14.99.
the new 20.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it is new 14 because it was 14, back in the day, especially with the 360 arcade stuff.
Oh
It's like
yeah, those
ten
were like
dollars.
4.99. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
they started getting licensed games, and then they were like, yeah. Um, but then, but yeah. So there's that. And then we've got a few more games, but we're gonna go ahead and take a quick break, and we will be right back. Mel, we made it back. During the break, you
Yeah,
told me
did it.
about how you saw a hummingbird.
Yeah, it threw me off because I never saw one. I always wanted to see them because I didn't think we had them, but apparently we got them. So like now I'm gonna be thinking about getting like a little hummingbird feeder
Oh yeah,
type of
that'd be
thing because I
fun.
always wanted one. But like I was always told, oh, they're never around here. Because I stepped outside a little bit to get some, sunshine and all that, and I heard this buzzing sound during like the last segment, and I was like, oh man, it's a bee. I don't want to get stung because I've never been stung before. So I was like, I don't know if I'm allergic or not. So I was like, I'm trying to go back in, and then I look up because the buzzing's getting louder, and it's just this bird, and like I almost like fell backwards into the door, just being all like scared by it. It flew away after that. I was disappointed, but it was really cool just seeing it.
Yeah,
But yeah, I didn't. I needed like a little moment because I was so on
process
that
the
high.
hummingbird. Yeah,
Yeah, I thought I was gonna die.
you thought you're gonna die.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I had this loud buzz and it just kept getting louder and louder, and
You,
I didn't see it at first because I didn't look up high enough. I was just talking about that. I
yeah,
didn't look
we
up
were just
high
talking
enough.
about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Make sure you look down in case there's a snake down there. Watch out. Um,
and we do have this, but hopefully they shouldn't be crawling around my house or whatever. But
yeah.
yeah.
Hopefully
Um,
not. But yeah. So we talked about um a couple of indie games that we played, and then it turns out we also play non-indie games
yeah,
up in this
we
place.
do it all.
Yeah, multiversited, as if you will. And the one I mean, the day I thought would never come.
I
Um,
know.
Mario and Luigi Brothership. We got a new Mario and Luigi. Even if it is a 5 out of 10, we got a new one. The the, for anyone that doesn't know, that's for uh, IGN give it a 5. But
Yeah.
the this is by Alpha Dream made all the other ones, all the
Mhm.
other Mario and Luigi games. This is the first one done after Alpha Dream shut down. Of course, Alpha Dream was also, I believe, sued by the Japanese government for um, not paying overtime and doing a lot of other bad practices
Just shady
around their
things. Yeah.
employees. So I guess, things happen. Um, so this one here is by the team that did Octopath Traveler, I believe, right?
Yeah. Acquire. Yeah.
Acquire, yes. Acquire did it. When they first showed it off, I was like, "Oh, that looks so cool!" Like some people either really liked the way it looked or did not like the way it looked. So, what did you think of, like, when we first got that first reveal showing us what this game looked like?
I thought it may have been a little too clean, but I did really like how it looked. I thought, especially when like the first like animations we saw were like very like very wacky, the very lively, uh, and yeah, I always kind of liked how it looked.
Yeah,
I pretty much had faith in this one. I guess I know I have seen a bunch of it's like, hey, it's not Alpha Dream anymore. It's like, is this actually good? Is this too much? Is it too long? And like, I've been playing on the OLED and handheld, and it looks beautiful on that screen. I'm
yeah.
spoiled by that screen, so it helps with the colors popping and such.
Yeah, that definitely helps a lot. Yeah, with like the purples and stuff that you would see, like the hints of like purple for the shadows, like kind of looked almost like they kind of made them look, tried to, I believe they tried to
Mhm.
capture the look of all the concept arts and official like key art for those games with this one in game, and they I think they did a pretty good job with it. In terms of Mario and Luigi, like it is a act. Well, it's a turn-based action RPG where it's kind of like, Paper Mario, Super Mario RPG, all those games where you are not only picking your attacks, but then if you hit A or B at just the right moment when they attack, then you get an additional attack and do more damage. Where
Or you
if
can
you
counter,
yeah
dodge, stuff like that.
you do the same thing with your defending as well. Um, but yeah, this is turn-based kind of like action RPG, but it is um at first I was like, I don't know, this kind of feels like with like when they have a it almost feels like a this is a very odd specific instance where they have um a look-alike contest, and then the real person is there but they don't win, and it kind of reminds me of that. It kind of,
I see it now. I see it.
because they tried to make this just like those other games, and in some aspects they really did um complete just that with like where they over explain everything, especially in the beginning. They did a good job with that.
Yeah.
The combat feels good. I'm enjoying the combat and doing the bro moves. um the fact that I have it in a handheld on with the Switch, I enjoy because while I'm watching like a show or something, I can level up some skill, like do some battles, because the battles take can take a while, like if you're trying to grind or doing something like that, because I don't like hard RPGs. I like to be able to grind to the point where I just am overpowering everyone, or I would say not overpowering everyone, but I don't want to be overpowered by them. So if I get to a new
Yeah.
place and they are destroying me, I will grind it out a bit and go up a couple of levels so that I'm ready to go. um
And this game actually does do a pretty decent job at giving you enough little enemies. It's just like if you clean out the area, you do have to like kind of like leave and come back. So that's a little bit of a downside because they're not always like respawning as quickly as you know, maybe you would want. Or maybe you do like that because you can just like walk around the area without being like attacked again. Because like the enemies are on they're on the area, so they can actually hit you and start the battle, or you can hit them and start the battle and gain an advantage. So
yeah.
that cuts down on some of your battle time as well.
Right, yeah, because you can land, and then eventually you'll get powerful enough where you can almost take them out with your attack from jumping on their heads if you go around. So I mean, the story does um, borrow. I mean, it lives up to its name, Brothership. The brothers are on a ship. They're going around from island to island and then trying to bring the electricity, the lifeblood um, back to all of these planets, right? Or the
Well,
islands.
the islands, yeah, because the islands were all together, but then they got split apart. So now we're going around like just like uh, you know, trying to put them back together. So
Right.
like once you get like a new island, it kind of just like goes behind your ship, and you just like dragging all of them. So I have like 10 islands right now, just like as you're going around this big sea trying to get more. And
Right. Yeah.
some of the story, it's like, well, some of these people actually don't want these albums back. Some of them are looking forward to it. It's actually a way more in-depth story, for like a Mario Luigi game. Don't get too crazy now, but like compared to some of the late earlier games. And I do like it because you're constantly interacting with characters you see over time. You see how their stories grow, and they're in part of the side quest, and you learn a little bit more about them. Because like there's like this little group, it's like called the idol group. Like when you first meet them, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like these guys. And like every time I see these guys now, I'm like, oh look, they're doing well, they're improving. I like that. It's constantly building. It's like nice little world building kind of aspects.
Right, yeah. And then once you go to an island, like so once you go to an island and you get it reconnected back on, there will be like certain areas that you couldn't that were inaccessible before that you can go ahead and go back to now. And then on
Yeah,
top of that, we it which is nice cuz you say you got like 10 islands following you
yeah, I have
behind,
like 10 islands. Yeah,
and those are good for um those are good for like going through and grinding because you can go back to the old levels and then there might be some new enemies there, other enemies, there might be side quests. Um,
yeah,
one thing,
and there's like shops can update as well. I think
yeah,
you know and there's always little things to find. Like there's like this grandpa turnip guy. Like he's part of like a ongoing side quest. Like he's like on each of the islands, so you can find him and you get something. And like when you unlock a new current to the sea, you can find these other little islands that are just like battle islands or just like little puzzles. You can get stuff. Like I did one like last night with like a ice block movement. You had to solve the ice block puzzle and you got like a hammer at the end. It was really cool. So it wasn't just like the islands are only like story stuff. There's other little things to see, and there's like these little monuments you can see too. That's another part of another side quest. They're like goofy little statues. And they come into your hub, which is the ship, because the ship is always your hub. You go back to it constantly. So there's always people and new little things opening up and happening on the ship as well.
right, yeah. And yeah, there's like a lot happening. One thing that one of the, like when I play games like Persona, uh, whenever I play that, I'm always like, okay, I need to do this. I need to like do this, this, and this. It's like not quite the to the same extent, but it has me like, um, with, I guess it's probably just me with my generalized anxiety where, uh, I don't want to miss out on something, so I'm just sitting here like, oh no no no. I need to I have to stop everything I'm doing and go and do this side quest because it has an hourglass next to it. So if I don't do it in time before we move on, then I won't be able to ever do it.
Oh, yeah, because this game is very nice about that. It like once you unlock side quests, it actually mentions like, hey, some of these are time exclusive, and here's a little guide of like when it's about to expire. So there's like a blue one, then there's like one with hourglass, and there's like a red one. Like the red one's like, hey, if you move on in the story, you can no longer do this. And I
Yeah.
really appreciate that because a lot of these games, even nowadays, they don't tell you like, hey, this is about to be unlockable. I mean, you have to be blocked off from this. So, if you want to do it, and I typically like to do the little side quests in these types of games because, like I said earlier, it's a nice little world building experience. So I'm learning more about the characters and getting more connected. And I actually really like these little designs because they're like, they're like extension cords, like outlet plugs.
Right. Yeah.
Uh,
A lot
they're
of
not like your typical Mario
electricity
stuff.
references.
Oh yeah, they're constantly doing that. Like the companion for like Luigi is like this outlet that looks like a pig, but he's not a pig. So that's his gag for the entire game.
Yeah.
So I personally like the gag, but I can see how some people would not like that.
Right.
But I like that more than Star though. Just make it like she was being mean to him in the dream team. She just straight up hated Luigi. I think, but you know, the game does kind of have a little bit of a different humor when you start out. It's kind of more like Three Stoogie. It's like more on the physical uh animation, humor type of thing. But like when you're going along in the story, there's like these other people have their own jokes, and you see some past Mario enemies. Like I saw some Goombas last night, so they made references to Mario and Luigi. That was fun. You know, um, So like if you're worried about like it keeping the same type of humor as old games, it does. It just doesn't start it like right away. I think it grows into it. And I feel like the game itself just kind of like the more you play it, just like the better it gets. It's just one of those things where like I'm enjoying myself. It's just I don't want to play like 6 hours at a time, you know?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I am enjoying it and I'm playing it. But like you said, I'm going through and playing it at like a few, maybe like an hour at a time. I've also been like kind of just taking it to bed with me and playing it that way and kind of like
Yeah,
chipping away at it. But I am enjoying it. Um, and it does feel like another Mario and Luigi game. I hope it does well enough that they can kind of like maybe they acquire can get more used to making games like this and making this
yeah,
for Nintendo and get a better feel for the Mario and Luigi games and kind of like make another one and see where that goes from here. I guess it depends on how well this one sells. It did sell in Europe. Um, it did sell less than Super Mario RPG, and I think, but it sold more than any um, Mario and Luigi game before it in its first
yeah.
week. So um,
Well, you know,
the old Switch
I do
effect.
think some of yeah, I think the Switch effect is gonna have an impact on us, just not as much because this is like the third like Mario RPG game we got in a year.
In a
But I
calendar
actually
year.
do
Yeah,
like
that's
this one.
wild.
Yeah, it's crazy, but I do actually like this one the best because first of all, it's a brand new game, and I actually do like the game. It's just I think the main problems with this game, we have the discussion course online where it's like, hey, this is like the 5 out of 10. That's always gonna be like the first thing brought up. And like the guy does have some valid points. It's just throughout my playthrough of the time as of right now, I'm about to go to the third lighthouse because like the main story has like you have to go to these four lighthouses. You have to do there's probably something after like the fourth one. So I have like 22, 23 hours. I'm probably like roughly halfway done, which is like kind of long for like a Mario and Luigi game. Because like the earlier ones were like, you're done like in 20 hours. Like Dream Team was like probably like 30, 35, if you did like everything. But I think the other problem with this game is they they do very well with the tutorials. Like they're speedy. It's just like the process of getting like new moves and abilities is at a slow pace. Like the first time you get like a bro move is like 6, 7 hours in. That's like really long. And I like the bro moves. The bro moves are really fun. That's like the things you want to like do like instantly.
Right. Yeah.
Sorry, there was a truck passing by, but the same concept, like Amazon's like always happening here, but there's like the same problem with like the battle plugs because the battle plugs, oh man, these things are amazing. They're awesome because like you get these plugs, you can earn them by beating certain bosses or like collecting like these little glowy flying orb things, and you create these plugs and they give you different abilities to do things in battle, but they have a certain amount of ability in which you can use them for. Like there's like this iron ball spiky one. It drops like an iron ball if you do like an excellent move. But you can only use it 10 times before the plug goes out and you have to recharge it. So you're constantly collecting these plugs and you like rearranging them and setting them up how you want to strategize. And then like as you go along in the game, you get like better plugs, and then you can get like more outlets to use more plugs at a time. So those like that part of the battle system I love because I'm constantly like, you know, having a different type of battle when I go into these battles. Because before you get these plugs, the battles are like, okay, I'm jumping, I'm doing the hammer, that's it. But now I can do like the iron ball spikes, I can do like a wave where it hits like multiple enemies at once, fire and ice moves. It's really fun. But they introduce it so slow, which I think is going to turn some people off because, like, why is this like 8 hours in and not like 4 hours in at like minimum? Like, why would you like delay like the best part of the battling that long? But maybe if they do get like another chance at making this type of game, they can introduce that a little faster. Because maybe they were thinking like, hey, this is too much for some people. But I think fans of the Mario and Luigi games would be okay with that having introduced sooner than later type of thing. Because it's not too complicated. I mean, you can really go in there and like make your own combinations, but I think anyone could do it, you know?
Right, yeah, exactly. Um I it just I agree with you about it taking like once you do get those bro moves, like it takes a little while even just uh to get the like you got to go through a couple of islands before you even get the hammers. Then you get the hammers and then
Yeah.
you kind of like get the bro moves, but then those are kind of like doled out kind of slowly too and yeah.
And you get two moves at a time. It's like you get like the
Oh yeah.
green shell and the red shell. And then like 4 to 5 hours later, you get like the Yoshi egg and the
Um
the Zappo thing,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. Mhm. And on top of that, they all do kind of like take a while. Like um it just further um increasing the length of these battles. When I'm
Yeah.
trying to like grind and stuff, I try not to even do those because I just want to get through it. Unless I know I can do one and take out multiple enemies,
Yeah, and
I'm
that's
probably
the,
not going
you
to
know,
do it right away.
yeah, and that's where these plugs kind of come in. But you have to have the plug and it has to be charged. And when you go
Yeah.
later in the game, you get these other plugs that make the other plugs charge faster, but like you have to wait a while for that. Because I just got that and I'm like 20 something hours in.
Right. Yeah.
That's kind of ridiculous. But I guess it is what it is. But I actually really do love this battle system. I like it a lot. I wasn't too sure how much I was gonna like it before I started playing it, but I want this to come back at like another game if they make another one. Because like my main complaint is just getting introduced so slow to these aspects of stuff. Because I really like it, and I just wish we had it before rather than later type of thing. Because they did pretty well, I think, making the hub, making the couches, making semi interesting story for me to like to go. And they gave me enough excuses to go back to these islands to get more stuff, to see more people, to gather more items so we can craft stuff. I like that. It's just everything is just introduced so slow. So maybe next time they can pick it up a little faster.
Yeah. Yeah. Like that's what I think part of the reason why we're like, oh, that would be nice if they could just get another shot at this, just because they can build on what they already started.
Yeah, because I really like what they did. You know, I know they have a lot of the past Alpha Dream on this, helping them. But I like the new additions as well because like you have like like the Mario and Luigi, they always have like a good like connection, but it seems to even stronger in this one because like the game starts off and like Mario like loses Luigi for like 5 minutes, and
Yeah.
like you see him and he's having like a mental crisis, just without being with Luigi for like 5 minutes. It's pretty funny, it's
Yeah.
messed up, but it's like pretty funny. And I like how they did all these animations. I like how they added all these little extra little things to do, like fishing. There's like a little fishing thing you can
Oh
do.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
love fishing because
Yeah. We all
when
know
you
about
when
your
you're on the
fishing.
boat, you have to discover the new islands, and you have to take these current paths. And to take these current paths, you have to like get like certain connection currents to link up and stuff. You just unlock them by doing the story. So like sometimes you have to go to like the other side of like the map because like the game is sectioned off in five big open seas. Currently I'm like in the third sea, about to go into the fourth sea. So I just had like a mission that I had to go back to the first sea. So I was just fishing while I was like waiting for it to go. And the game is actually nice because they do introduce like a faster speed for your boats.
Okay. Yeah.
So like it was going fast, so I was only able to fish like maybe like 2 or 3 times instead of like 30,
Uh huh.
when I
Yeah.
when I using that. And they're actually pretty nice too when you're out on these other islands. If you've been to the island before and it's hooked up to your ship, you can use like this golden pipe and you just hop to another island. You don't have to go like all the way back to like the entrance and use that pipe. So I do like that aspect as well. So they do have these good ideas to cut down on some stuff, but then they introduce stuff so slow. It's kind of like a little kind of intuitive, I guess, in some ways. But I think if they have another shot, they can iron it out and they can actually have like, hey, maybe this is the best Mario Illusion game instead of being like, oh, this is like third, you know, because this is probably like ranking third for me right now, personally.
Yeah, yeah, it's probably around there for me. Um, I'll have to wait and see. I want to play through the whole game. I do plan on playing through the whole thing. Um, I never played all the way through Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, but I do want to tackle that
Oh,
eventually. But I did beat all the way Mario RPG. Well, both on the SNES, but then this remake or remaster, whatever you want to call it, remake. Uh,
yeah, it was like last year. Yeah, it was last year.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I made it through that. I want to make it through this too because I've beaten every other Mario and Luigi game. I don't want to stop with this one. Um,
I mean, you beat Paper Jam. You got to beat this one.
I know. If I beat, Sticker Star, I can do it. Um,
That's my logic on a lot of things when I'm trying to beat stuff. I
uh,
was like, I beat sticker stuff.
yeah,
I should be able to
I
do
can do hard things. I beat Sticker Star. Yeah. But yeah, this Mario and Luigi Brothership, it's out now, only on the Switch. I will say there were a couple of spots where like the frame rate was kind of rough. Um,
Oh yeah.
but nothing that like took me out of the experience. The one thing that really annoyed me was this is a me thing, but it has like a hold down B to fast forward the text, but it just seems slower. It seems faster if I just tap A to skip through it, then hold down B to fast forward it. It doesn't make any sense. Um,
I think it's because they didn't instantly put it at the start of it. It's like they wait like a line and then it's like, hey, here's the B function. But like the lines are only like three max. So like by the time it pops up, it's like halfway over already. So I didn't notice that until just now. But yeah, that's a good point.
but yeah, I'm really enjoying it. Um, do you think are you gonna play it through all the way?
Yeah, I'm about to go into fourth C. I know there's like five Cs, so I guess like once you get to the 5C, that's like in game maybe. I don't know, but I am doing like all the side quests and stuff. I'm not doing all the challenges though. I already messed up on some of those. I gave up on that. But there are challenges you can do. The side quests. I'm trying to do the side quests because you do interact with these people enough, and I like to learn a little bit more about them, get a little couple more jokes, that type
Yeah.
of thing. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably hopefully beat it by next week. I should. I feel like I'm a little over half. I feel like it. I'm not too positive, but I'm about to go to the third lighthouse. I just had a wedding in the game, and that was cute. I liked it. Oh, also with this game, there's certain points in the game where it's like, hey, you can do this option or this option. And like for the most part, it doesn't seem to be like a major deal. But like early on ish, I guess, there is one where it's like, hey, you can like not use Luigi for this part. So you have to go through the section with Mario. Personally, I didn't do it, but that's also a nice little gameplay mechanic because it actually does change things in that aspect. The one I just did was just cosmetic for the wedding, but the one before that was like, oh, you're playing the game with just Mario for this section. That's kind of cool because they never really done that before.
Yeah. Yeah, that is cool.
I like that.
I did not. I don't think I got that part yet.
Yeah, because I think you're grinding, so it'll pop up for you when you go to the lots of coins island. I think. I
Oh,
think that's what
okay.
it's called.
Yeah.
So there's some like forks in the road for the game, but like it seems like the game still progresses the same way. It's just like slight changes happens. It's just that one for sure had like a different gameplay mechanic. I think the first one was just like whoever you helped is like the one that makes the stuff for you on like the ship. Like that's like
Oh,
the
yeah.
craftsmanship shop. So I had like the guy for that instead of the girl. I don't think it actually changes too much, maybe, but I don't know. I have to see someone who actually has to go on their shop if she makes different items or something. Maybe, or maybe it's just like a flavor text kind of thing.
That's true. But yeah, that was Mario and Luigi Brothership. Um,
Yeah,
yeah. We played some other games, but we'll talk about those next week because
yeah,
we've
because
already
we
talked
have a
about
lot.
quite a few. Yeah, we're always playing games, you know. Um,
Me and you, yeah.
yeah, we got quite a few games. I feel like before you know it, it'll be uh, the end of the year. I mean, we're already halfway through November, pretty much, which is
Yeah, it
wild.
doesn't feel like it.
I know.
And like 2 weeks time, we're gonna see a lot of sales and stuff popping off.
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah, we
probably
are.
picking up more stuff than usual. So be on the lookout for that, I guess.
Be on the lookout for that. And then next week, I want to talk about. I played some of the Sea of Stars um, update came out. It's got not only does it have multiplayer, which is cool, um, but it also has which I made a video of myself playing multiplayer and I just
Yeah.
had two controllers on the desk in front of me and I was just running running.
Oh man, you doing like a Sakura
Yeah,
like
Sakura. Yeah, he
impersonation
was
right there. Yeah, Sakura.
yeah, he inspired me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was enjoyable. And we'll talk about that next week as well
Yeah.
as um there was another game I was playing. Oh, that's right. It was the we'll talk about that next week. Neo Harbor Rescue Squad, which is a bit like um, um, Trauma Center for the DS and the Wii. Love those games, and
Love
yeah,
those too.
and so yeah, we'll be talking about that. I will say I played about the first hour or so, and I'm really enjoying it. But I'm looking forward to going through and playing it some more. But yeah, it's great uh, so far.
And I
And
can't wait to hear it because I'm a big trauma center person.
big time trauma center person. I know. That's one
Yeah.
thing about you.
I got all those SSSs,
Yeah, you had that on your MySpace profile. Big into trauma center.
Yeah, all my top eight was just the characters from the game,
Yeah. Yep. The doctors, just the surgeons, just living
Dr.
their lives.
Sorrows,
Yeah.
Angie Thompsons,
Yeah, we all know. Yeah, you would cosplay as them every once in a while. But yes, thank you to everyone for listening, and we'll be back next week. Take care.